Daily learning.
My dentist appointment. The morning sun peeked through the curtains as Sarah woke up with a slight unease in her chest. Today was the day she had been dreading for weeks, her appointment with the dentist. She tried to shake off the nervous flutter in her stomach, but found it difficult. The thought of the cold, clinical office, the bright overhead lights, and the sharp instruments waiting to probe her mouth made her feel vulnerable. She sat on the edge of her bed, taking deep breaths, hoping to calm herself. Memories of childhood visits came flooding back, the sterile smell mixed with a faint scent of antiseptic, the hum of the dental drill like a distant storm. She remembered the discomfort, the awkwardness of lying in the chair with her mouth wide open, unable to speak or move. But more than that, she recalled the feeling of powerlessness, how small and fragile she felt under the watchful eyes of the dentist and their assistants. Sarah forced herself to get ready. As she looked into the mirror, she tried to steady her hands while brushing her teeth. She wondered why something as routine as a dental checkup stirred so much anxiety in her. Maybe it was the fear of pain or the unknown of what the dentist might find. Or perhaps it was the loss of control, having to trust someone else with her health and comfort. The walk to the clinic was short but felt like a long journey. Each step echoed in her mind as if the pavement itself whispered doubts and worries. Her heart beat faster, matching the rhythm of her footsteps. When she reached the glass doors of the dental office, she hesitated, taking a moment to gather her courage before stepping inside. The waiting room was bright and immaculate, decorated with soft blue walls and calming pictures of nature. A faint aroma of mint and cleaning agents lingered in the air. Other patients sat quietly, some flipping through magazines, others lost in their phones. The ticking of the clock on the wall seemed louder than usual, counting down the minutes until her name would be called. Sarah sat down in one of the chairs, folding her hands tightly in her lap. Her fingers trembled slightly as she tried to focus on her breathing again. She told herself that the dentist was just a person doing their job, that this visit was necessary to keep her healthy. But the tension in her body refused to ease. Suddenly, the receptionist looked up and smiled warmly. "Sarah, the dentist will see you now." The words felt like a signal to enter a new world, one that she had tried to avoid but now had no choice but to face. She stood up, her legs shaky, and followed the assistant down a narrow hallway lined with doors. The quiet footsteps and soft hum of machines created an almost surreal atmosphere. When they reached the treatment room, Sarah noticed the large window that let in natural light, a small contrast to the usual sterile feeling she expected. The dental chair was positioned under a bright lamp, surrounded by shiny tools and equipment that gleamed with a certain cold precision. Sarah sat down and tried to relax, but her hands gripped the armrests tightly. The assistant gently placed a bib around her neck and asked if she was ready. The dentist entered shortly after, a calm and reassuring presence. His smile was gentle, and his voice soft but confident. "Hello, Sarah. Let's take good care of you today," he said. There was something about the way he spoke that made her feel a little safer, like she was not alone in this experience. As the examination began, Sarah tried to distract herself by looking out the window. The sky was a clear blue, and the sunlight made the leaves on the trees shimmer. She noticed a small bird perched on a branch and thought about how free it seemed compared to her own trapped feelings. The dentist's questions were kind and patient. He explained each step before proceeding, which helped lessen Sarah's fear. Still, every time the cold metal touched her teeth, a shiver ran through her body. The strange noises of scraping and suction created an uneasy soundtrack to the moment. Time seemed to stretch and contract all at once. Minutes felt like hours, yet the appointment was moving forward. Sarah's mind wandered to her childhood again, but this time, she imagined herself as braver and stronger. She pictured herself smiling confidently after this visit, proud of facing her fears. Then came the moment when the dentist gently said, "You have a small cavity, but it's nothing serious. We can fix it soon." Relief washed over her, mixed with a tiny spark of disappointment that her worries were not entirely unfounded. She realized that sometimes fear could prepare you, but it could never erase the reality. When the cleaning started, Sarah found herself relaxing bit by bit. The gentle touch of the brush and the warm rinse of water felt almost soothing after the initial tension. The dentist chatted quietly about everyday things, which distracted her from the sensations in her mouth. By the time the appointment ended, Sarah felt a strange mixture of exhaustion and accomplishment. She was tired from holding herself so tense, but she was also proud that she had made it through. The nurse helped her up and handed her some aftercare instructions, her voice calm and kind. Walking back outside, Sarah inhaled the fresh air deeply. The world felt different somehow, brighter and more hopeful. She realized that sometimes, facing something scary could open the door to new strength inside herself. As she headed home, the nervousness that had weighed on her chest all morning began to fade. The appointment with the dentist was over, but the feelings it stirred would stay with her for a while. Yet, now, she also carried a quiet confidence, a reminder that she was capable of handling discomfort and uncertainty. And perhaps next time, the fear wouldn't be so strong.